Amy, very interesting game in South Bend.
Yes.
Notre Dame kept it close against Georgia, but I think we can maybe argue that Georgia should have beaten them by a lot more and maybe covered that spread. They're hosting Virginia, who struggled last week against Old Dominion. The Irish, 12.5-point home favorites.
Look, this is a big game for Virginia.
Huge.
What maybe the biggest game that they've ever been in. They're playing really well, 4-0. Like you said, struggled a little bit, but for Virginia, I mean, they just continue to exceed expectations this season there with Bronco Mendenhall. I really like Notre Dame here because of how they played at Georgia. I expected them to get their butt kicked in Athens. And not only did they cover, they almost upset the Bulldogs at home. And I think because that's going to be considered a good loss in the eyes of the College Football Playoff Committee, Notre Dame still feels like they're in this thing. They're coming off energized. And if anything, they want to have a statement win, style points, whatever, to impress the committee. So I think the Irish are really motivated heading into this one.
You mentioned a good loss in like the eyes of the committee and the eyes of the public. You know what it was? It was bad for Georgia bettors, like me, because Georgia should have won the game by 3 touchdowns.
I mean, we both agreed they were going to crush them.
Like, he wasn't Kirby smart. He was Kirby dumb with the way he ran the end of that game. They're like, go for it on 4th down, close the game out. I actually think because of that, because Notre Dame should have lost by 3 touchdowns, we are getting Virginia at a discount here. I might go for the outright upset here for Virginia to beat Notre Dame. I don't know if I'm going to be that cavalier, though, pun intended. I will take Virginia to cover the spread, though, plus the 12.5. I tried. Amy, I tried to tell you last week that USC was the bet on Friday night at the Coliseum against Utah. You have a chance to redeem yourself here with the Trojans. They are 10.5-point dogs at Chris Peters and Jacob Eason in Washington.
I have no idea who this USC team is. I had a friend call them
You're not the only one.
Jekyll and Hyde USC, and I love that term. I don't know what I'm going to get from them. Look, their only loss was on the road. This is going to be a really tough road test. And then you have Washington that dropped that game to Cal, but that was only by 1 point. And they've been absolutely crushing people ever since. I like Washington outright, but I have no idea if it's going to be a complete blowout or is USC going to keep it close. This one really scares me.
Oh, it doesn't scare me at all. And I got a real good feeling how this is going to play out. You mentioned USC's only loss this season came on the road. That was at BYU. You know what Washington did at BYU last weekend?
Crushed
Vaporize them. Washington will vaporize USC on Saturday. I've got USC futures. I had USC last week. But USC basically throwing 50-50 balls up last week, and the receivers came down with it 100% of the time. That ain't happening this week, and I'll take Chris Peterson over Clay Helton any day of the week, twice on a Saturday in the Pacific Northwest. Washington wins this game going away.
Love the coaching mismatch, definitely a key.
Big game in the Big Ten. Ohio State, a 17-point road favorite Saturday night at Scotty Frost in Nebraska.
Yeah, Ohio State has been crushing everybody, and Justin Fields playing really well.
Did you like their 70-plus unanswered points last week for Ohio State? That was pretty good, right?
Pretty good. So, of course, Justin Fields, this is going to be his toughest road test so far at Nebraska, that big environment. We know the Ohio State offense can put up points, but their defense is one of the best in the country, too. The number 3 scoring defense. They also have the number 3 scoring offense. But that defense can take the ball away. Nebraska has turned it over like crazy 11 times. They do not know how to take care of the ball. So I don't think they're going to be even able to keep the ball in their hands to put up enough points over Ohio State. I like Ohio State big in this one.
I think it may actually go the other way, a little positive regression for Nebraska's offense not turning the ball over. Now, I want to buy low in Nebraska. Nebraska struggled last week against Illinois. Almost lost to South Alabama in week 1. Lost at Colorado, while Ohio State looks like an absolute world beater. And then it's a 17-point spread in a primetime game on the road. Give me all those points with Adrian Martinez, Scott Frost, and Nebraska.
I know you're waiting for your Ohio State Big Ten upset. It hasn't happened yet, so maybe this is the one for you.
I don't think they'll upset Nebraska. No. I don't think Nebraska will upset them, but I do like Nebraska to cover.
Okay.
Time for our best bets, week 5 of the college football season. Amy, what do you got?
I like Texas Tech at Oklahoma, over-under set at 70.5.
Big 12.
Way over on a Big 12 matchup. Way over. Texas Tech averaging 32.3 points per game, and then Oklahoma 55.6 points per game.
What's 87, 88 points?
Do the math on that. It's way over 70.5. And of course, you have Jalen Hurts continuing his Heisman campaign. He's going to want to put out a statement game against Texas Tech. So I think the over very safe on this Big 12
it's like, who cares who's playing quarterback for Texas Tech? Cliff Kingsbury, Graham Harrell, Sonny Cumbie, Patrick Mahomes, doesn't make a difference.
Points.
They're always scoring points. You know who I think is going to score some points on Friday night?
Ooh.
The Maryland Terrapins.
I
Now, the
love
last time
this.
we saw Maryland, they were getting upset by Temple. They are hosting Penn State, and they are a 6.5-point underdog against the Nittany Lions. Penn State could have very easily lost to Pitt, and we would have an entirely different scenario here for this game. I am going to take the points. Fear the Turtle, Friday night, Maryland getting the 6.5 at home against Penn State.
Love that one.